We're here for live Q&A, and this is a once a week deal, and I'm so glad you're here today. We've got 3 pretty great topics to talk about. Less questions than usual, but that's okay because 2 of the 3 are fairly in-depth, so we're gonna have plenty of stuff to cover today. So in case you are landing here and you don't know who I am, my name is Sabrina Gebhardt. I'm a lifestyle photographer of more than 10 years, almost 11, and I'm a photography educator, and I go live here once a week, sometimes more than that, sometimes a little less than that, but we're gonna call that average, once a week, and I do business Q&A. So the way this works is I drop a question box on Wednesdays and you guys ask the questions. So these questions are coming from mostly photographers, that's my industry, but some just general entrepreneurs. And the questions generally run the gamut of topic and theme, and it makes it for a really fun conversation where we kind of just go there. So nothing is off the table, nothing is off limits, and sometimes we get some great questions asked during the Q&A. So if you're here and you've got questions to ask, you can put those in the comment. But I'm glad you're here today, and I want to let you know where we're going. So these are the 3 questions that were asked ahead of time that we're for sure going to cover, okay? Number 1, I'm increasing my prices, but I'm not sure what language to use on my website so that my current clients know that it only applies to new bookings. First question. Second question is, what are some marketing tips for new businesses to help find and book new clients? Okay, so that one's a pretty in-depth one. That one's going to be really interesting. And then the third question we got this week is, I am planning for next year. What should I do to prepare for my slow season months? Okay, so for a photographer, generally that's January, February, March, maybe even April, depending on where you live. So that's where we're going today. Again, if you've got questions to add or even just comments, chime in the comments below. And if you are catching this on the replay, you can always send me a DM and chat if you need to. So hello to everybody that's here. We're gonna dive right in so that we don't waste any time. I'm glad you're here. Okay, question number 1. I'm increasing my prices, but I'm not sure what language to use on my website so that my current clients know that the new prices apply to new bookings only. So here's the thing. You don't need to worry about that because clients who have already booked with you are not going to be looking at your website pricing. Okay, they've already booked with you. So if for some reason a client reaches out to you and says, hey, I just want to confirm that this is our price because I just happen to see on your website that this is your new price, then you can do that confirmation, but you don't need to worry about that because somebody that's already on the books with you, that has signed a contract, that has paid a deposit, that is already locked into your system, they're not going to be reviewing your prices online. Okay. The other thing I want to tell you is whether or not you list your prices on your website or not is completely up to you, and you do not have to. Okay. So you can have nothing about pricing on your website. You could just say like, for pricing, please inquire or whatever. You could also have like a general statement around, most of my customers spend X on their portrait session, or my portrait sessions start at X and go up from there. So you can have a general statement there, but if you don't want to spell out your new pricing, you absolutely do not have to. So I hope that answers your question. If you have need some more clarification behind that, let me know, okay? So here comes the big one for today. What are some marketing tips for new businesses to help find and book new clients? So before I dive too far into that, I want you to know that this is a massive, massive topic. I cover so much of this in my full course, The Organized Photographer, that will open up again at the end of the year for registration, and class will start in January. So I'm not going to go all the way into this because that is something that my paying students and my mentoring students get. But I do want to skim the surface and give you some ideas, okay? So first of all, when you say marketing, that's like all the things, right? When you're an entrepreneur, when you're a photographer, marketing is everything. It's getting on Instagram, it's captions, it's reels, it's newsletters, it's blog posts, it's posting things on Google. It's relationships you're building around town. You're literally marketing yourself at all times everywhere. Okay, so marketing is a humongous word. It's a humongous umbrella, but I'm going to give you 3 things that I would recommend you starting with. So this is for new businesses who are trying to find and book new clients. The first thing that you need to be 100% certain of is who is your ideal client. You cannot market to people and try and recruit new people if you don't know who you're trying to reach, okay? And if your answer is, if the first thing that comes to your mind is, I just want people, that's the wrong answer. You don't just want people. There is a certain type of ideal client that is right for you, that you want to serve, okay? So I know that as a new business, it's tempting to just want to take everybody and want to work with everybody, because anybody that'll give you income, anybody that'll support your business is a win. And that seems true, but it's actually not, okay? I want you to think about who are the ideal clients that you want to be working with all the time. Are they young families? Are they newlyweds? Are they families with seniors in high school? Are they people who are having babies? Are they brands that you want to work with, entrepreneur women? What is your ideal client? Who is this person? You need to be super confident in who they are. So if you have not spent time trying to figure out who your ideal client is, that's what you need to spend time doing before you can come up with a marketing plan to reach this person, right? Because if you don't know who you're reaching, how can you figure out how to reach them? Okay, so you need to know, who they are, where they live, what they do for fun, what they do for a living. Do they have kids? Do they not have kids? Where do they spend their time? Where do they shop? Where do they eat? What zip codes are they in? Are they churchgoers or not? Are they homeschoolers or not? Literally, I want you to create a story around who your ideal client is. The more you know about them, the more you can figure out how to reach them, okay? And a little side note, if you are working through this exercise for the first time and you find yourself thinking, my ideal client seems a lot like me, that's okay. Okay, that's totally okay if your ideal client is your people, okay, just like you. It's also okay if they are 100% polar opposite than you. There's literally no right or wrong. There's no rhyme or reason. You just need to know who they are so that you know how to reach them, okay? So when you are trying to market for a new business and you're trying to reach and find new clients, the first thing you have to know is who the heck your ideal client is, okay? So after you know and you have figured out and you are very confident in who your ideal client is, the second thing you're going to do is I want you to go, and I'm going to put air quotes around that, I want you to go where they are, okay? That could mean physically, it could also mean on the internet, okay? So let me give you an example. If your ideal client is a 30-something mom with little kids, like the 3 and under crowd, and is maybe about to have another baby, and she lives in town in a metropolitan area, and this is her zip code, and these are her shops that she goes to, and these are the boutiques and the restaurants, and this is the church that she's at, and this is where her toddler goes to school. Think about all of those places, both physical and online, and go there, okay? So I'm using air quotes. If it's an actual boutique, a restaurant, a coffee shop, a playground, go to those places, okay? Not as like a stalker to a playground, but like take your kids those places and go on a coffee date with a friend to that coffee shop and spend time browsing in those boutiques. Go to those places so that you can engage in the same businesses that she is engaging in. And then I want you to spend time going online with those places too. I want you to follow those businesses. I want you to engage with those businesses online. I want you to share things that they're sharing in a community type aspect, okay? So if her favorite coffee shop is this cute little local coffee shop on the corner, and then she loves to go next door to the bookstore and browse around once a week, then spend time with those businesses. Follow them, comment on their posts when they have something cute or a sale or something fun. Repost it to your stories and tag them. Engage with those same businesses that your ideal client is at. Here's why. When the Instagram algorithm sees that you are in the same circle of orbit as your ideal client, your business and your business page and posts from your business are going to show up as recommended to your ideal client. Okay, so when she logs into Instagram and she goes on the search button because she's looking for something new or whatever, your business page, maybe a recent post, maybe a recent reel or something is going to be shown in the recommended section. Okay, you guys know what I'm talking about. That's Instagram saying, hey, you guys like all the same places and you engage with the same businesses. Okay, so that is very important. And hopefully what's going to happen is that your business is going to get shown to her and it's going to catch her attention and she's going to follow your page. And then she's going to start engaging with you. Okay, so you need to be spending time and supporting the same places that your ideal client does, and also online and in person. Okay, so an in-person example is if you want to go to the same coffee shop and spend an hour writing a blog post and get a latte, you can take a picture. Okay, it doesn't have to be a selfie if you're not into that. Take a picture of your computer and your latte and whatever, and then share it to your Instagram stories and tag the cute little coffee shop. Again, this is telling the algorithm that you guys like the same things. Okay, so your business will be promoted to her. Okay. So the third and final tip I'm going to give you from this humongous broad category, but just to give you a little something, is that I want you to think about businesses that you can collaborate with. Again, this is going to be businesses that your ideal client spends time with, engages with, follows, that kind of thing. Okay. And when I say collaboration, a lot of people for some reason automatically think you have to give them free photos and do something, in return. It doesn't even have to be that, okay? It could be something as small as you're doing a write-up on cute local coffee shops and you go have a latte at each one over the course of the week and you take a picture and then you write a blog post and you put the pictures and you link to them, okay? And then maybe after you've done that, you send those 3 coffee shops an email and say, hey, FYI, I'm just a local photographer, but I wrote up a cute coffee shop blog post and I mentioned you guys and I thought you might want to know, and send them a link. Okay, that is a form of collaboration. That is businesses supporting businesses. And if you haven't figured this out yet, small businesses love to help each other out. Okay, so it doesn't always have to be a financial trade or a, let me do pictures for you and then you can share about me. Sure, those are great things. And if you're interested in doing those things, fantastic. But it doesn't always have to be monetary. You can find ways to collaborate with local businesses, all kinds of creative ways. Okay, so I hope that those 3 things gives you some ideas of where to start. But truly, the marketing a new business and figuring out how to find and get new clients to hire you is a huge topic. And again, we go into so much more of this in my course. So I'm going to leave it at those 3 things today. Okay, so the third question we got for today is, I am planning for next year. What should I do to prepare for the slow months? Okay. So this question came from a family photographer. So I'm going to assume that she means January, February, March. What can she do to prepare for the first quarter of next year? So my answer is, it depends. Okay. I need to know which boat you're in, and I will speak to both of these. Number one, are you in the boat of your family relies on your income and therefore you need to make a certain amount of money every single month? So what can you do to bring in income during the first quarter when you know that it's going to be slower for family sessions? Okay, that's scenario number one. Scenario number two is you don't necessarily need the set monthly income. So what can you be planning to fill your time with so that you are productive in your business? Okay, so those are 2 different directions for what to do for busy season, and I'll speak quickly to each of those. So if you are on the side of you need a set monthly income, you're starting to get scared because you know that after the fall busy season, family sessions are just going to drop off and you're a little bit panicked. Okay. So what I will tell you is this: you need to be marketing for what you're going to fill that time with now. Okay. Marketing is a 4 to 6 month in advance process. Blogging is that way. Google My Business is that way. Social media is that way. So you need to figure out what you're going to fill that first quarter with, and then you need to start marketing and talking about it now. Okay. So There are so many ways that you can bring in income and drive a little income in that first quarter when family season has slowed way down. You can really promote in-home or studio newborn sessions, okay? If you are not really big into newborns yet, but you're interested, start doing those model calls now so that you have work to market for you, because people have babies every month of the year, okay? So that's a great thing to fill your first quarter with. The second thing is you can do some sort of family session promotion around cold weather. Okay, so let me preface this. There was one year that I decided to do in-home mini sessions. This was before I was really far into in-home like I am now, but I marketed the in-home minis around baby, it's cold outside. Okay, so it was winter season, too cold to do outdoor family photos, but people still want them. And so I did a limited number of in-home mini sessions. They were all in January, February, and early March. And I really promoted those heavily to mommy and me sessions. So maybe it's just mom and her toddlers at home. That way we're not asking dad to take a day off work for a little mini session, because they probably just did a session in the fall. And those actually went really, really well. Another thing that you can fill your first quarter with if you need income is either branding or product photography, okay? Those are also things that people need all year round, and it's a great season to do that, okay? So if you have any interest in doing that, again, you should be doing model calls now so that you have images to market with now, because whatever you're sharing on social media right now or within the next 30 to 45 days, that is marketing for the first quarter, okay? Because most of us are pretty darn booked for fall already. So yes, you have all this family work to show, but you're not marketing for fall because your fall's already booked. You're marketing for the people who are gonna book you in the first quarter, okay? So that was speaking to scenario 1 about what can I fill my first quarter with. Scenario 2, you don't necessarily rely on a certain monthly income. So that's not what is, has you worried or frustrated or interested in what to do with your first quarter. What you're interested in is how can you fill that time doing productive things for your business when you know that you're going to be shooting way less than normal, okay? So if that is the situation you're in, the first quarter is an incredible time to do all the behind the scenes stuff in your business, okay? A new website or a website revamp. Plan out your content creation for as far out as you can. Write every blog post, okay? You can write like 6 months worth of blog posts in 2 weeks, okay? Write all the blog posts. You can plan out your marketing calendar for the entire year so that you know what you're talking about and when you're selling and when you're not selling. You can write out ideas for newsletters, okay? Another really, really great thing to do with the first quarter is to either have a mentorship or take a course, okay? So there are a lot of conferences that will be in the first quarter. That is what has generally been deemed as conference season. This year and last year, several of them shifted to the fall because of COVID and in-person virtual stuff. But generally speaking, conference season is in the first quarter, okay? So if you've had your eye on attending a conference or an in-person workshop, you should plan on that. As soon as the doors open, the tickets go for sale, that you can register, give yourself the gift of that education. Or if you don't want to go that route, hire and get your mentor on the books. That is a great time to hire somebody because you have the time and the brain space to actually work on your business, okay, and to really engage with a mentor. And a lot of mentors book a lot of their clients, their education clients, in the first quarter for the same reason, because they're not shooting as much either. So if you are looking for any kind of education, the first quarter is a really great time to do that, okay? Same with taking a course. If you're taking an online course, a ton of them will open for registration in the first quarter. So that's a great time to pour into that. So if you are lucky enough to not have your family's income rely on a certain monthly income for you, and you're just looking at how you can fill your time for your business in the first quarter, you can literally 3 months is a long time. You could literally do all of that in the first quarter and come out in April just ready to kick butt, okay? You could hire a mentor, you could go to a conference or workshop, you can revamp your website, you can plan your marketing calendar for the whole year, you can write a bunch of blog posts so that your SEO starts picking up, you can map out your newsletters, you can map out your social media. 3 months is a long time. The key is to make sure that you are actually doing the work. Because it's one thing to sit down and say, okay, January is going to come along and I'm going to do all this behind the scenes work in my business and I'm just going to get rocking and rolling. It's going to be amazing. But then January comes around and you're like, I kind of like having nothing to do. It's kind of fun. I'm just going to enjoy laying around and doing nothing. And, you know, I'll post on social media every once in a while, but I'm not going to do anything intentionally. And before you know it, first quarter's over and you just lost your chance for another year. So planning your time intentionally and really making a plan for how you're going to attack first quarter is the key, and then sticking with it, okay? For sure, I want you to enjoy the slow season and the downtime and the not having to hustle and rush and all of that, but you still got to be doing the work, okay? This was a really great chat today. Even though we only had 3 questions, we covered a lot of ground. I appreciate you being here. I will leave you with this. If you are not on my newsletter list yet, please join. You can get at the link in my profile. There is a photographer's newsletter and it's education. You will get something once a week that is just short and sweet. It generally has a few links to things to inspire you or help you, a quick read or a podcast listen or something like that. And those go out on Mondays. It's called Lifestyle Lessons and I would love to have you on there. And because it was mentioned, if you are starting to think about how you want to spend your first quarter with education, my course, The Organized Photographer, will be kicking off again in January. That would be a great way. And I also am currently booking mentoring sessions for the first quarter of next year. I offer online and in-person things. And so if you wanted to do it in person, we shoot a session together. It's very fun. And then I will also be announcing very soon my first ever VIP virtual day mentoring option where you get like 6 hours of my time and we go through every facet of your business, and it's online, so you don't have to fly to me, and it's great and easy. So anyways, I appreciate you guys for being here. If you are catching this on the replay and you have questions, concerns, you want to chat, send me a DM. If this was valuable to you today, would you please share it to your Instagram stories and tag me? I'd love to know that this is helpful, and I would love to cheer on your business. Thanks, you guys. We'll see you later.